Hey, Jim Cam here, founder, franchisor of multiple brands exceeding over 150 locations. And this is today's top. If you think this video, I'm gonna talk about the 100% success strategy, but you're wrong. This does not exist. In fact, I will tell you the 100% failure strategy. If you do, you're 100% sure to fail. So, don't do it. So what I'm about to say are the things that you should not do. So yes, there are things that you're gonna do will make sure that you will 100% fail. So I will pinpoint the point, but more importantly, I will tell you about how I did in the past, how I managed to succeed to multiple locations, and also how some of the franchisee managed to expand to multiple locations. Just understand one thing, there's more than one way to the same destination. So there is also no 100% success formula. It does not exist because everything requires on timing and timeline and also the location. There's so many factors that can affect your chance to succeed, but there are things that will 100% make sure that you will fail. So I want you to not do it. But if you want to do it, I cannot stop you. So I'll give you a quick story about how I started. I opened the first restaurant, just me and my wife, back in 2012. And this is where we founded Sushi Sama. And it's gonna be the same thing for you because the moment that you're gonna open your first business, don't rush things. Yes, you want to bring the sales higher, you want to open a second locations, but this is where your true foundation is built. In any business, even building a house, the foundation is so important. So whatever you build on top of that will have a big factor on your overall success. So first location, 2012. And it took me 3 years to open the second location. So 2015, this is where I opened the second one. And the third one, 2018. So it takes 6 years for me to have 3 locations. So this is where I'm telling you, there's a lot of mistakes that I did and that I had to overcome. So that's why each and every single time, it took about 3 years time. But on the other side, one of my first franchisee, he opened his first store in 2020. And by 2022, him and his team opened 8 stores. So it really depends on how well you can do it. And also, we're not in the same time frame. And how he managed to open 8 locations in 2 years. Because prior to opening the first location, he was already a sushi chef with over 10 years of experience. So this is where his strong foundation was built. But for any one of you that just started basically your first restaurant experience, you need to give yourself a little bit more time to learn about the basic fundamentals of running a restaurant business. What I mean by basic fundamentals, I'm talking about management, cost control, dealing with people, negotiation. You need those 4 key points are based on efficiency. So what I mean by management, you want the whole process and system to be efficient. In restaurant business, you only have a few peak hours to make the most sales possible. So you need to make sure that people are in place, they can deliver at the required time. And also cost control. You need to make sure that one employee can supply a certain amount of sales. If not, then that employee is not cost efficient. So you need to better train or hire better ones. Dealing with people, not only with your staff, but also with clients. You will have clients that complain. You have clients that you need to act in a specific ways for them to just order a little bit more, come back more often. There's so many things that you need to be able to grab and make more sales. And negotiation. Negotiation comes more like for catering parties with some suppliers, even though we have already that established. But if you have a good relationship with, let's say, the delivery driver, you have some stocks that you're really short of, you can have the driver deliver it first thing to you in the morning. So there's a lot of things that really comes into play, and those are the fundamentals that you need to build over time. And you can only get better by practicing and do it over and over again. So get good at the business. Because to succeed, there's not any defined playbook that you can truly follow because a lot of things depend on the timing. So what I can suggest you to do is just get better at the fundamentals of the business. The more you're gonna get better, the stronger your foundation is gonna be. And the next big step for you to grow in business is the ability to adapt. So you just adjust according to the market. We will be here to help. We'll give you a lot of guidance, and also we will always be negotiating the best deal for you, but you need to adapt depending on the location you pick, on the staff that you hire, and how you want to push and grow the sales. Now, let's go into another example. We have another team that it's perfect for running very busy stores. So his first store makes 800K per year, doing amazing. Quality control, cost control, and efficiency is all on point. And then he opened his second location, also doing the same. Perfect management for that. And now the fourth location that he opened does about 400K sales. 400K sales might look low compared to 800K, but he really struggled on making it profitable. He is even losing money by running a 400K stores. Why? Because his business strategy and also his way of working is not suited for that kind of sales. Even though the ratio of the rent reflects on the sales, he still did not manage to make it profitable. But on the other hand, I have another team that has 5 stores, each one of the stores making about 400K, but all of them profitable. But that franchisee cannot push the stores to 800K because he cannot manage that rush flow. But he is very efficient in cost controlling when the sales are just perfectly stable at 400K. So this franchisee, he prefer not to deal with the chaos of pushing the sales up to 800K or even 600K. He can, just with a little bit more marketing, he can certainly do it. But he just prefer to maintain a stable 400K sales so he can manage, and also he has 5 stores. So he cannot be in all places at the same time. So this is the kind of management that he prefer to go. So this are the 2 ways, but there's also another way. We have another franchisee. He is more comfortable into pushing the stores to 1 million in sales per year. But this is the kind of franchisee that are basically a control freak, wants to do everything by themselves. He wants everything to be perfect. So he is the sole operator of the stores, mainly every day there, and micromanaging every single task. But that kind of franchisee, he is very happy with just 1 store instead of trying to go to 5 locations or even open his second one. So based on everyone's goal, there's a lot of possibilities that you can go through. I can even name you another example, because now the next question might be, should I go with 1 brand or multiple brands? That is the thing. So can you travel far, or you prefer to have multiple brands in the same area? You want to look in one area, or you're able to manage multiple areas? This is another scenario. We have another group that has only 1 brand, but he manages Vaudreuil, Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu, PAT. So those are 3 completely separate areas, but he still managed to have people in place, and he can still micromanage. But for the people that wants to have in all separate areas, I suggest to go with 1 brand. That's what he's doing. And by the way, those 3 regions are at least 20-30 kilometers apart. So for that kind of situation, it's better to go with 1 brand. So this way, you know you're the master. You can better find people and better teach them and just keep growing your overall business. Other than the location are far from each other, but the management stays the same. So he knows, he completely understands the business. And here's another situation. Let's take Old Montreal. The franchisee running the Old Montreal area is the same for Sushi-sama, Poke Station, Ganadara, and also Onigiri shop. So that franchisee preferred to have a 1 locked-in area, but diversified through the brands, because he cannot have management by traveling that far. This is not his strong point. The point of the video is just for you to understand what is your strength and what is your weaknesses. Because by understanding it, it's gonna be easier for you to see how you can scale the business. And like I said, there's no 100% success strategies, but there's more than 1 way to the same destination. So if your goal is to reach to at least 5 locations, those are the possible ways. So those are the main reason how the franchisee can fail. Cash flow problem, and also expectation of the sales of the second stores. So basically how it works is they want to build every store perfect, but when you want to grow, cash flow is king, because the second store might not be performing as well as you think. And also by setting up a second store, you need to put more people for hiring new staff, training new staff. So the labor costs will naturally go up. But if you do not have the financial strong enough to support that growth, that moment of training, then it's not good. So how we usually suggest is don't look for or to build a very nice store. That's why opening the second store, we suggest to find a location which is here, wrong location. It's also related to the cash flow, because by choosing the right location, it will also play a big hand on the cash flow requirement. Imagine you pick a second location that requires you to put the full cash down in to build from maybe 200K, then that's a lot. But imagine you can just simply pick a previous restaurant that has the basic plumbing in place and also all the electrical work, even flooring. Maybe it's gonna cost you on the build-up cost only 100K. So by running the second stores is different from opening the first store. The first store, you can just throw all in. And now, of course, management. By growing too big, managing sales, it's important. And also sales requires more than simply doing promotion. Good marketing, good way to dealing with people, satisfying your customers. It's all comes into sales. Let's say if the store is not performing as well, is the quality maintained? Or if the store is performing too well, can the quality still be maintained? Labor costs, food costs. Usually this is where it gets out of control the moment you start expanding, because you cannot have your eye on it anymore. So some key factors are all linked to management. That is one of the key failure points also. I talk about the wrong location based on the cash flow, and another one, shareholder dispute. You might think you need partners to grow. Yes, you do, sometimes, depending on who, but I certainly did. And if you are not aligned or set into the same goal, it's very hard for you to be working together. I still believe there's more than one way to the same destination. That's how me and all my partners does. I know we all have different strengths. He has his own way of doing things. I have my own way. So we respect that. We respect each other, and then we always end up to the same destination. And financial oversight, speed, it's also linked to everything that I just mentioned above. Sometimes you think you have projection, you think you can do in a certain way, but what if things goes wrong, right? Sometimes it's related to speed. And from 1 to 5 locations, this is where I suggest you all to not push it too fast, because this is where your true foundation is built. The moment you can build a strong foundation up to 5 locations, I guarantee you can go to 10 very easily, because this is where it all matters. I've seen so many franchisees go through 5 locations very quickly, which is great. But after some of those problems comes, and then they have to split up and delegate 1 or 2 stores, things happen. It's not perfect. Even for me in the past, I almost had to go through all that, but never losing hope, I kept on pushing forward. And one major mistake too is hiring a consultant. What does the consultant knows about the business? Do you think his knowledge is up to date after COVID? So many things change after COVID, or even during COVID. And even now, it's kept on changing with the wars going on. So many things going on, AI coming into place. He basically, I'll say, knows nothing about the industry. So the best way for you is always learn to adapt, learn to act fast. And if you have any advice you want, reach me out. This is why, as the franchisee, we are here for. And one thing that I forgot to write, but I'll say it, it's very important. It's ego. Ego plays a huge factor in how you're gonna grow the business. Once you have a small success or even big success, what do you think is gonna be built up? Ego. If you do things that you never thought you were able to do, ego will come. So sometimes you think you did it once, you can do it again and again and again. But different growth, different plan, different area requires another strategy. It requires you to be a better person. That means having a stronger foundation will make you be able to fit in the right place for your business to grow. But if not, if ego comes into place, you will think, I have enough cash. I can manage that people. I can do this. I don't need you. I can do it myself. There's so many things that will really make sure that your business is gonna fail. And also some cases that I saw is people mixing their business goal with their personal goal. And they think their business money is their money. Yes, you own the business, but the business, like I said, requires cash flow. And cash flow is so important for you to grow. So by growing, people, they see that their first, second, third restaurant is making good money. They just take a lot for themselves, spending on a lot of useless things. I know I do spend on a lot of cars, but it's not the same. I waited years and years, even over a decade in business before spending on cars. So this is what I see a lot is people spending the money they shouldn't. They should just reinvest. You heard a lot about reinvesting your money in the business. This is why. So yes, it's fun. It's nice to be able to move fast, but the faster you move, the stronger the ego is gonna build. And what I prefer you to do is just take your time, build a strong foundation, because only this during the hard times you will truly learn about yourself. You'll learn more about yourself during the hard times compared of the good times. Because what the important factor is, don't lose focus. Remember what is your goal. Don't let any distraction around set you apart. To be honest, I wish I had someone when I was young to guide me through all this, give me some insight before jumping into business. So I didn't have to waste all those money, all those years and time and effort through the years of learning by myself. So I don't want you guys to repeat the same mistakes, because by just looking at those, if one of those things will reflect in the future, you will know why the business is not working. So focus on building your strong foundation. This is so important for your overall business success, and also on how you can grow to over 5 locations. My partners, I have one partner that used to have fried chicken brand called Olivia Chicken. You all know and you all heard of it. The mistakes that he did is cash flow, expectation. So he invested all the new location by building a nice and picking a high rent place. And what happened after? Sad to say, but it's not doing very well. And another one of my partners used to own Cacao 70. And he also put a huge, even bigger than Olivia Chicken to build the stores. And also the rent is even way more bigger. But when COVID hit, it just killed the business. So by growing, you need to make sure that you can always have your cash flow under control and minimize your risk in everything you do. So that's why with all the mistakes that I did personally myself and the mistakes that my partner did, we learned a lot and we structured the business or franchise program in a way that is safer and better for you to grow. So if there's anything else you want me to cover in the next video, just comment below. Cheers.